So your doctor checks your blood pressure. Okay, maybe what he does, he might adjust your medication, if you're currently on it or not. If you're not, then you're probably going to be pushed on it. But nobody's checking the one number that actually drives it up in the first place. Okay, and it's not salt. Okay, and it's not stress, and it's not about getting older, and it's not even genetics. Okay, it's insulin resistance. Okay, and it might be the reason your blood pressure won't budge. Okay, no matter what you cut out or what you try. Okay, it's actually the number one cause of high blood pressure is insulin resistance, also known as type 2 diabetes if it gets that far. But here's what's happening in your body right now, whether you know it or not, is let me try and explain it really, really simple. So every time you eat, your pancreas, it releases insulin to move sugar out of your blood into your cells. Okay. Now, when your cells stop responding properly to insulin, okay, they become resistant. That's why it's called insulin resistance. Okay. Now your pancreas then compensates by pumping out more and more insulin to force the job done, basically, right? Okay. Now, the extra insulin doesn't just sit there quietly. Insulin is a hormone, okay, and hormones send a signal, right? Think of it. Just sort of pause and just try and take that in a little bit. And one of the loudest signals, chronically elevated, um, that insulin sends to, okay, is it tightens your arteries, okay. And what happens when you tighten your arteries? Okay, blood pressure gets higher, right? Heart starts pumping more. Now, there are three ways high insulin drives your numbers up, okay? And they stack on each other quite aggressively. So one is insulin tells your kidneys to hold on to the sodium and the water instead of releasing it. Okay, so then more fluid is then a closed system, means more pressure in the pipes. Okay. Now two, insulin insulin over activates your sympathetic nervous system. Okay, that's your fight or flight response. Okay, so your heart rate creeps up, your vessels, they sort of constrict. Okay, and your body sits in a low grade state of alert all day. Okay, feel a bit anxious, high cortisol goes up as well. And then the third one. So the third one, this is probably the biggest one. Insulin resistant directly damages endothelin. Okay, again, I don't want to get too technical on this, but that's the paper thin lining inside everyone's blood vessels. Okay, and it's responsible for insulin resistance. Okay, that's when it sort of sets in. Now, you've probably heard of this nitric oxide. Okay, nitric oxide, it's a molecule that helps release pressure on the arteries. Now, nitric oxide production drops when stage three happens. Okay, your arteries then lose their ability to relax on command, and they stay stiff. Yeah, they stay really stiff. So what happens then? Sort of, your pressure climbs. All right. So it's not one mechanism. It's your kidneys, your nervous system, and your arteries all getting pushed in the same direction at once. Okay. And medication only touches the pressure reading. Okay. It doesn't touch any of these three root drivers. That's what you have to remember. It's not going to fix the root cause. Okay. So again, you can make any comments in the video down here, guys, on what position you're in. Happy to answer your questions. But look, all I'm asking, hit subscribe. You get more videos like this because most of my longer videos are on YouTube because Instagram, and it's kind of 1 to 2 minutes. The longer stuff is on here, so I can educate you a little bit more. Okay. Now, this isn't about being unhealthy in some vague sense, all right? Because insulin resistance builds from a very specific pattern. Okay. Constant blood pressure spikes. Okay. Now, listen to this bit. This is the cause of it. Constant blood pressure spikes from ultra processed carbs, sugar hitting your system all day with no breaks in between. Your cells get hit with, they get hit with the insulin every so often. They start tuning in and out the same way you tune out of a smoke alarm, but it never gets turned off. Same thing. So, and in a low muscle activity, because muscle is your body's biggest sponge for soaking up blood sugar. Okay, that's why it's important to strength train. One of the biggest reasons to strength train, not just to look big and jacked, but to help insulin resistance when you start getting stronger. Okay. Now, if you've got the perfect setup, sugar coming in constantly, okay, just gets utilized. Okay. If insulin is climbing higher and higher and higher, then your body's trying to compensate, right? That's why strength training is really, really important. All right. And on that, the fix, like here's the part that should actually make you feel hopeful. All right. Insulin resistance is one of the most reversible conditions in the human body, faster than you'd expect. Okay. The single highest leverage move here is get muscle contracting regularly by training, okay? Not hours in the gym, even short bouts of resistance style movement, okay? It opens up the glucose channel in your muscles, okay? That don't even require insulin to work, okay? So you're literally giving sugar a door to leave through that bypasses the broken before um sorry, I can't speak today. I literally was flying all day yesterday. Just getting back into work today. So cognitively, I'm not fully switched on, but I've just thought I'd shoot this video. So yeah, when you take direct pressure off your pancreas, okay, which then takes direct pressure off your arteries. All right. And this is why we build strength training into our NOP blood flow protocol that we do for clients. All right. It's a direct correlation. It's a lever, basically, alongside obviously the nutrition and lab work. Because if you're not addressing insulin, you're not addressing the mechanism actually driving the numbers up in the first place. All right. So yeah, if you want to know exactly where your insulin and blood pressure numbers are and where they stand, and you want a protocol to reverse this, then there is a link down in the description. Bit of an application, just gives them a bit of information, and then we'll reach out, maybe book in a health audit call if we feel we can sort of help you. All right. But as long as you understand this video, why insulin is generated, number one cause of high blood pressure, how you can fix it, and how easy it is to fix. Super easy, guys. All right. Take care.